Right. Okay, my mic is showing a meter again, so that's working.
Nice. Max, can you hear me now? It's loading, alright. See if you can hear my volume and Leon's volume good enough.
What I'm going to do as well is, because it sounds absolutely fine here, so OBS is recording the stream. I'm also recording it on Shadowplay, which will record what's on the screen. And seeing as it all sounds perfect on the screen, one of them will be, yeah. So even if the stream itself's a bit ropey, we'll have a good recording we can put up afterwards.
Cool. All right, nice. Sounds good to me.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so I take it you're in, I was going to say school, but college, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our university basically, and. This is sort of like our office in school. It's cool. We recently had a journalist come inside. He says like, "Wow, this actually feels like coming into a real company, like a real game development company, instead of playing with students some other games." But yeah, it's all last year, so it's exciting.
Yeah. So do you have have you basically got like a Flock area or a Vogelsap area that is yours, or?
Yeah, this is like a Vogelsap area. I'm not sure if I should lift up the laptop and try and show you, but I don't know. It's like we got our own room, our own space, and everything.
So how does that fit in? Because obviously you're at a game. You're on a games course, aren't you? So
yeah.
Do other people have their own office, or
Yeah, definitely. Like in the last 2 years, especially last year, you get your own projects. So first years was mostly like following courses and having subjects and stuff like that. And after that, you get bigger projects, and you get to choose more what you want to specialize in, what you want to do, and you get to work with all kinds of game-related people. So we have like sound designers, we have people working on 3D art, concept art, animation, programming, and it all comes together pretty much. And it's not even limited to this school. This is the HKU. We also work together with other schools who might have better programmers or better, I don't know, sound designers. But this is mainly focused on game art and game design.
Okay, cool. So should we go in the game then and sort of explain sort of the finer points?
So, I've created a game. I'll ask the other guys to join me. I posted one. Let's see if you guys can find me. You should go to the server list, and then there should be one available.
Yeah, I see one game it says like 1 of 5.
Yeah, that's the one. So you're playing with controller, right?
Yeah, just like a wide, just a 360 pad.
Yeah, nice. I really like those. We actually had, although it is a PC game, we actually had the controls for the Xbox controller fixed earlier than the mouse support. It actually plays better with controller at the moment.
Yeah. So is it? I mean, are you? How's the? How long's the alpha been going? How long have you been getting sort of feedback from that? Was that the first time you let it out beyond kind of trade shows and friends?
So no, this alpha hasn't started yet. The alpha is going this weekend. This weekend is like the big Halloween weekend event for the Flock, and it's going to be exciting because this is going to be the first time that players are actually going to play the Flock at home, and hopefully we'll get like the right the right players that like this kind of game.
Yeah.
When you go to events, you always have good gamers. You have people that are interested. You have people that just are bored and want to play something that's where they have to wait less time for. But we've got pretty exciting people. So they have to have like enter and motivation why they want to play the Flock, and just reading that really motivates us to okay, let's get this thing right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it starts this weekend, did you say?
Yeah, this weekend. Are you already joining? Because I don't see you in the.
I can. Let me try again. I was looking at a server that had one other player in it. Oh no, it didn't refresh. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. When everyone's ready, press A.
Let's go gently first of all, because I've still not. What are the buttons? So I found like a jump, was it?
Yeah, I'll explain it to you. So left stick is just walking around.
Yeah.
It's easy. Right stick is looking around. That's easy. And then you got left trigger. Left trigger means sprinting. That's running. And right trigger is attacking. And you can only attack when you are the Flock, when you are the monster.
Yeah.
So I'll explain the goal of the game for the players who don't know the Flock. What you need to do, we'll start as a monster in a multiplayer area, and what you need to do is find a light artifact. So it will be really easy to see, it will be big contrast to the rest of the environment. And the one that picks up the artifact will become the carrier, and he'll become the prey. And when you're the carrier, you have to hold onto that artifact for as long as possible. The longer you hold onto it, the more points you get. So I just found the artifact, and I don't know if you see a big, massive light explosion. Did you see that?
No, I heard something.
Okay, so that sound is me picking up the artifact, and when you look the right way, you actually see a big light explosion.
I can see.
The longer I hold that artifact, the more points I get.
Yep.
And yeah, but there's a big twist though, because the artifact emits like a huge beam of light.
Ooh.
And
yeah,
I saw you.
Yeah, it's hurting me. Am I dead? Am I?
Yeah. So
Okay, gotcha.
That beam of light. Oh, wow. Nice. That beam of light, you can see it as like a perfect visualization of which direction I'm looking. And the thing of the Flock is you're not allowed to move in that beam of light. So what you need to do is to stand perfectly still when the carrier is going to turn around or when you think he's going to capture you in his light.
Yeah.
So when you stand still, you can see it, then you turn into stone, like you get an overlay on the screen and your hands stop moving and you're a statue form. And
yeah.
that form, you're totally safe and you can't be hurt.
Ooh. Alright, let's see.
So what we also trying to what actually people tend to forget when they're playing this game, there's actually a bit of stealth in this game. So we're making a kind of like a horror multiplayer kind of game, but there's also a lot of stealth in this game because you have to like try and sneak up behind from the carrier or get him from above or where he can't get to you, and you have to be fast because he's not allowed to see you.
Yeah.
Alright, I think you're the carrier now.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do I?
That's an objective. Yeah, you can shout on that, but you have to be careful because.
Yeah. I just saw someone at the corner of my eye then.
Yeah, because those objectives, they're optional. They're helping to help the Flock to see where the carrier is going, because they know like, oh, there's an objective, carrier might go to that way. But it's tricky because to manage to get that objective, you have to charge it. You have to direct your beam of light onto the objective. But it also means you can't look around and see if other Flock are trying to get you. It's like a perfect moment for Flock to ambush you. Oh shit.
So as long as I'm standing still, I can't be hurt.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Bastards.
So yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's shining a light on me at the moment, but of course, if he keeps me fixed, then someone else can come and get him.
Yeah, exactly. That's like what we use in our when we're playing together, or when we're playing test with people that play the Flock a bit more. We actually use each other or misuse each other to get the carry. We can see like, oh, that other one is diverting attention, and I can use that to. Okay, he's probably not looking my way now, and I can get him.
What was the? There's a game in England called. Well, we used to call it "What's the Time, Mr. Wolf," where someone had to face the wall, and everyone had to creep towards them, and they would look around whenever they sort of felt like it. If they saw you moving, then you were out.
I've heard a lot of names for that. It's called like red footsteps, red light, green light, those kind of things.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah, it's a child's game. It's a bit like that indeed. And actually, well, when we tested it, we had like a different way of testing it and making it, and then as soon as we came further than that, people said like, oh, it looks like a child's game. Like, oh yeah, indeed it does, and it's really, it's really cool because I think that there could be more inspiration getting from, like tag or hide and seek. We don't actually see that often in like, digital games.
Yeah.
But what we're taking further though is like we're working like, okay, that's like it's a full basic concept, but what we really want to do is like make you feel as an actual monster, make you when you run. Like Flock is quite interesting because when you walk on 2 legs, and when you run run on all 4s, and the camera goes down, and you go like wow. And we actually had difficulty with players connecting with. Most of the time, players they play like a human being or a hero they can customize, etc. And we actually had difficulty of getting people to like to be a monster this time and actually feel like they are the monster.
Yeah.
So we really worked on the camera animations, get first-person hands in place, and make you feel like you're something else.
Yeah, the ability to move around actually is really nice. It's got that sort of. I'm trying to think which Alien game it was. It was just really good at like jumping up on the walls and getting on top of roofs. And
you mean Alien vs Predator? One?
Yeah, I think it was one of the Aliens had it really nailed well, where you could just like bounce around. So it's got the movement working really well.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, we worked a lot on that.
How many? You're saying about how you're working on the camera stuff. How many are you? What's the size of the team?
We're about 10 now. So 10 people. Nice.
So what was the win condition there?
I'm definitely, look at my score, I'm definitely distracted by this interview, I'm not playing well. But, so win condition is, so when you have the artifact, you get points over time. So the only way to get points is by holding the artifact or getting an objective. If you manage to get an objective, then you get an extra amount of bonus points, and from that objective onwards, every carrier will get points faster. So, like the speed of the game will go up. And as a flock, there's no way you can get points. You can only lose points by dying. So if as a flock you die, then you lose points.
Okay. And how much of this? How's the game sort of evolved? I mean, I'm guessing it sort of arrived at that stage through you playing it and testing it. Because I remember you telling me when you first started, it was just you and a torch, just testing out like the idea. And obviously, you must have had to balance the scoring.
Yeah, we tested in real life in like a basement of a university. You can press A and A again, by the way.
Oh.
But yeah, we tested in the basement of our university, and just with like a light torch, and it was already getting pretty exciting with just like the 2 of us, and then we found out, we need more players, because if somebody with the light shines upon another player, it's just frozen, right? You need more players to make sure that the one with the light is always overpowered for a bit.
Yeah.
And then we tried, I actually made in Forge of Halo 3, we made like a variation that really looked like what we were trying to make, and it was really a lot of fun. And then we just started building the game, and we quickly came up with the, how do you say that, like the dimensional level design, like the flock is faster, it can jump higher, and you can get to access to all different areas and make it sneaky. And then we actually found out it was pretty scary. We actually got scared when we were playtesting in real life, and we were testing it, and also when we were testing it in our first prototype. And yeah, so when we found out it was scary and we actually got scared, we were like, whoa, how many multiplayer games are there that you can get scared from, where you can just, or get moody, and then we just started working on that and see if we can get that balance right. And still, I mean, it's difficult to get a multiplayer game because
I've got like one guy above me, one guy to my left, and I'm sort of trying to keep them both in my torch at the same time. Oh, I've lost them now. Yeah, the sort of the paranoia of that kind of having to keep people in the torch beam, and like every time you turn around, there's someone that's just stopped moving. Oh.
Yeah, I need to pay more attention. I'm like at a whole different. I'm like in the level, like a whole different area. I need to find a line. I'm just like talking too much and not playing enough.
Ah!
Nice.
Yeah.
So I really like it that as a flock, you can see the light from afar, but when you're the carrier, you're like on the base level of the game.
Yeah.
You can't see that far, and you know they're watching. You know they probably see you or know where the light's coming from, but you just have to wait and see who shows up first and where they will come from.
Well, that's sort of what I was aware of, because I was sort of shining it up at the rafters, realising that was going to make me far more obvious.
Yeah. Exactly, but it's the best way for Flock to. Oh wait, I have to pay attention to the game. Yeah, but the best way for Flock to get a carrier is like from above. That's its advantage. But it also means that the carrier has to look upwards and can be more easily spotted and found out.
I was sorry, I was taking advantage of that. I didn't realise it was you talking and playing until I killed you.
Yeah. There's also a thing we added, like one of the frustrations players had was that when you were the carrier, a flock a lot of the times kills you from behind or from above where you didn't see him. And so we entered a kill cam, so you can actually see a flock from behind coming like bam in your face. We still have to tweak that a bit. Sometimes it looks a bit weird and it just breaks it, but when it looks good, then then it looks really cool. Like, whoa, shit. What do you think of the game compared to the trailer you saw?
Say again, sorry?
Do you remember the teaser trailer that you saw like a few months ago? I think that I shared when we announced that we're going to Steam.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I cannot remember what it looked like now. I mean, this is the game I sort of remember, if you know what I mean, even though I don't remember the trailer specifically.
Yeah.
But I mean, the world's really nice. Oh God, sorry. I like the kind of the sort of apocalyptic sort of, I don't know, weirdness of it all. It's like it's all gone wrong in a way you don't quite know.
Nice. Because that teaser trailer we showed like a few months ago, that was like really old footage. And we just worked a lot on getting the atmosphere right, getting that silhouette kind of artistic look and atmosphere and stuff like that. We just added first-person hands. It's like so many changes compared to the trailer.
Yeah, the lamp's different, isn't it? The lamp was more sort of, I don't know, like an old thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now it's like volumetric light, and first it was just like a static beam. It's not really reacting to the environment, reacting to everything, casting shadows, stuff like that. These guys are going easy on you. They should be playing better.
So I don't think I'm doing that well. Oh, I've lost you. There you go.
They said sure. Okay, they're gonna.
Oh.
Right, let's do that.
No, that's not fair. You got to stop moving pretty quick, haven't you?
Yeah, that's we actually have like an update ready that balances that a bit more. It's a bit more forgiving, but it is pretty instant. The way the beam of light works is that at the end of the beam, you have like a bit more time to stand still, but definitely at the beginning of the beam, it's like instant death because else it wouldn't be prepared for the carrier.
So is this kind of like the primary sort of game mode? Is it? There's no sort of, I don't know, not going to be like a death match or anything, but essentially it's this kind of.
Yeah, so we have this indeed, but what we want to do is that every level has its own game mechanic. So we're gonna add one to this level during the alpha, and it's gonna be like a set of doors that will be added to the level, which Flock can trigger to close down or capture a carrier into a certain area.
Yeah.
And the carrier can actually open those doors as well if it wants, but it will take time again. And it will get more easier for the Flock to, get a carrier into a certain, like trap him in a certain area, or grab his attention away, stuff like that, and make it more layers to the indirect combat, right?
Yeah.
And we have another level that's coming up after the alpha that we'll show later on that has a mechanic of statues. There will be statues in the level. And that's like a perfect hide spot for Flock to blend into, and then the carrier wouldn't know which one is real and which one is like a statue.
Yeah, oh, that sounds horrible. That makes you think of all the levels where they all those levels where they put mannequins in. And...
Yeah.
Do you ever play? Was it Condemned? You went into a department store and all the mannequins kept moving around. Let me just. I'm just going to double check the stream to see if there's any comments or anything. Bear with me a sec.
Yeah. Oh wait, I should actually post something on Facebook as well.
Actually sounds pretty good this end, actually.
Yeah, that's what my teammate says as well. It's like actually doing pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting to press buttons. There we go. So yeah, so the alpha is it was a closed or an open? Is this something you saying you auditioned people, didn't you, or sort of invited people?
Yeah, it's a closed alpha. And we expected, I don't know, 1,000 players or something at the end at something, but it just got way bigger than that, and now we're like, okay, this is too many people, but we'll see what we can do and just see how the first weekend goes. And but it's it's cool. It's cool to see people just have to enter a reason why we want to play the Flock, and we had that just in case we might have too much, but we didn't expect too much of it, and then we just have more than, I don't know, 4 double it or something, I don't know, but anyway, it was oh cool, now we can actually read all those motivations, and people just really seem to be generally interested in the Flock, so that's definitely amazing to hear.
Cool. And you're still fairly casual in terms of sort of when you're going to release it, when it's going to be finished, because you said you got a year left at university.
Yeah, so well, it's less than a year now, but yeah, we got something like that left, and we want to take our time though. We want to make sure everything works right. I mean, with students, we haven't ever finished a game proper, and doing a multiplayer game definitely is a big risk. We got a lot of warnings before, but so we're taking it slow, we're taking it easy, and make sure everything works fine, because I don't want to have those horrible stories where just everything went wrong because the servers are down, or because the launch weekend is awful. So this close alpha is our first real thing to see how our framework is staying. How do you say the stability? How good it is. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
So you said you got warnings about doing a multiplayer game. Were there other ideas sort of floating around? Was this the winner of a range of choices?
Yeah, when we first started, there were several ideas, but it was funny. It kind of started out as a school project, and we all wanted to do different things. Because it was a first project where you could do whatever you wanted. So the programmer really wanted to make a multiplayer kind of game. I really wanted to make a really how do you say suspenseful game, exciting game, and it took us and make it immersive, and then our artists really wanted to make a 3D game and stuff like that, and we just brainstormed and the Flock came to be, and it just sounded amazing, and we just tried it and play tested it in real life. It already worked, and so this was like, oh, we need to make this.
Yeah. So is it, how many players is it? Sorry, was it 5? Did I say, or 6?
Yeah, you can play with 5 maximum. 3 should be enough minimum, and then 4 is good, 5 is okay. But when you do more than that, it just gets too chaotic. It's just too much of an action fest and not enough tension. Yeah. We're also balancing. We're also having. I mean, it's difficult to keep attention.
It generally is like horrible to sort of turn around and then everyone's moved on a couple of steps.
Too eager. I didn't expect you to be this good this quickly.
Here we go. I think it's probably just beginner's luck. I'm sure normally what happens with any online game is the first couple of days I play brilliantly and I think this is amazing, and then like 3 days later I suck and I'm awful and I never want to go back again. I just have like a really weirdly sort of sharp focus for the first couple of days of almost anything online.
Yeah, maybe because it's new, it just piques your interest in all new levels.
But it's definitely it's a fascinating mechanic. Like, it was interesting then, like turning around, I could see 2 people, and I had them in my torchlight, and it was like, well, I can't stay here. I can't stay looking at them, and so I kept moving. And every time I turned around, they were in a different position, but I hadn't seen them move. It's that classic kind of horror mechanic. Like I say, lots of games have done it before, like with mannequins and things.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of people mention to me Weeping Angels, like an episode.
Yes. Yeah.
And I didn't know about it. I actually had to watch it, and it just looked so good. It looked so amazing, and it was really difficult to to get that. It's like really difficult, so we didn't try that. But
it's really interesting. Yeah, because it's like from a horror point of view, it's a really well-known mechanic. But to see it sort of take center of stage in a game is interesting. Because it does work really well.
It's cool. We had a early prototype which we showed in 2013 on Gamescom, and we had like a trailer for it, and we won some awards as well. And then we had to like rebuild everything because that was like unstable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like so simple, but it was flawed. It wasn't balanced right, and it didn't have enough, depth to keep players going for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've just been adding so many things without thinking, because this concept is not simple. It's so easy to understand, and we don't have a lot of buttons. We don't have like a lot of mechanics or things, but. For example, that light beam, the way it moves, the way it looks first person, with the artifact, with that moves a bit faster when you look around, but also that to treat that for balance problems is, for example, when you shine that light upon the Flock player and he tries to attack you directly through the light, he'll get slowed down, because else you might have like a moment where Flock is able to kill you while the carrier was shining upon that same Flock.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just tried to rush whoever had it then, and they got me. I see. So is there like kind of not divisions, but is there like a sound guy, an animation guy? You're all sort of doing a bit of everything. So I just wondering, because like the sound's really good, like that sort of the way that torch beam works.
Yeah, we got like sound designer. We actually had a different one before, now we have a new one. They just switched. And we got an animation girl. She's doing animations. It's really cool. Yeah, we got like different people for every. Oh shit! Every bit. You're close to me and all.
Yeah.
That's also a thing when you sprint as a carrier, you have like a.
Oh, I thought I'd stop in time.
I expect that.
I didn't want to catch you. I was just going to stop, so I was always behind you when you looked.
Yeah, the thing is, when you sprint as a carrier, you have like the speed boost, which is cool to get away, but you're also open for attacks, but you can't shine your light around.
Yeah. So it's really simple, isn't it? So the flock has basically just got run and attack, and the carrier's just got run.
Yeah, that's basically it, looking around. Yeah. There's like things you can do, there's things like you just want to have like the least amount of button input as possible.
Yeah.
You have like things on top of that, which I just really like. So if the carrier decides not to move, there's also a choice, but so the light will turn down. If it decides to camp, the light will just shut down and it'll be vulnerable.
Yeah. Was the light shutting down, was that because you realised people could just basically find a corner and just shine the torch out?
At first we solved that through level design. There are no corners where a carrier can camp. So there's always like a place where the flock can get you. But it also it was more fun when the light turned out, we found out, because when it shuts down you get like this scary moment of, oh shit, or I can't defend myself at the moment, or for example when you're trying to charge an objective, you're also in the same area, and that the time to charge objective compared to the time that the light shuts down, they're really close to each other, and it all should make it more like exciting. But we're still testing those. We're still trying to find the right balance between that.
Yeah.
But we also have found players that use the light shutting down as a tactic. They use it to hide and go to an area where flock have more difficulty to spot the light, and then just try and move and keep the light down, etc. and hope they won't see you. That's a valid tactic too. That's fun too.
Yeah. I thought I had you then. I didn't.
Beginner's luck already running out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is what the closed alpha will be for. Like, we will find out what players think of the balance, what they think of the level, what the feedback, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Keep track of everything, keep track of the information, and make sure that balance it right. Image.
So is it just this? Is it just this map? Is what's in the alpha? Oh, hello. We were doing pretty well there. Is there anyone else?
Hi there, I'm back.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm so tied up in all these cables that I accidentally plugged out my internet cable.
Ah, there we go. Wait a second. Right, I can hear you. Just gotta. It's still ringing on my other laptop. Give me a second while I turn that off.
playing.
Still there?
Yeah.
Cool. I've got no picture at the moment. I've just got your like an advert. I think. Did you switch the camera off?
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. Just I'm advertising something apparently in the top left corner at the moment.
Alright.
Oh. There you go. Get you back. Is there any kind of mythology behind all this? Because like, I really kind of like that location. It feels like there's a story to it in its own right.
Yes, there is. I'm not sure if our artists are too happy of me revealing too much of that just yet. But this used to be like the slums area of a bigger city, and oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to be that just a moment. Just gotta concentrate for a bit. There's all three of you.
I quite like just stalking. It's almost more fun to not actually catch you.
Yeah, we actually get that. We had that too from players, and I want to do something with that. I want to, after the closed alpha, I've got some ideas I want to test to make that more interesting and more worth your while as well. Because it looks cool. It's fun. It's fun to stalk people and see them, and get this. Just keep on getting. How you say, like, attentions?
Well, it's attention. Yeah, I mean, when I had the light and you're turning around and you see them there, and then you have to move. When you look back, they've either gone or they've moved like a few feet to one side.
Yeah.
It's a really sort of fascinating mechanic.
Yeah, when we're playing in our office, we have like 4 testing computers to test this game. We always talk a lot with each other, just saying like, "Oh, I go away," or "Oh, I saw you," or "I know what you're doing," "Oh, you're trying this way," blah blah. And it's so much fun because it makes it more like a psychological experience.
Yeah. Is there any? I mean, is there sort of matchmaking or chat or anything like that planned?
At the moment, no. At the moment, we're going for the full immersion, full experience. We're thinking about doing it in the lobby system, but at the moment we're trying to make sure that you're immersed in this flock creature, carrier creature, and see where that goes, see where that takes us. Because in the end, most people will be playing at home with their own computer and not chatting that much with other players.
Yeah.
We're not sure. We just have to figure that out.
Well, so I guess what you're gonna find out. Yeah. How long's the alpha running for? Is it just like it's out and then it's out, or is it a limited time?
It's definitely timed. It's going to be only in the weekends, so player base can find each other really easy, and it's good for us because then we can just monitor and see what people are doing, and then during the weeks we can fix all the problems, work on the feedback, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And of course, because just what I said, we probably won't have enough players to keep it running for a whole week, so just do it in the weekends and see how that goes. I think it will be like, I don't know, 3, 2, something like that. you need. It's interesting too, because we're going to play with some things during the alpha, add some things, change some things, see what that does, and make sure that the game will change whenever each content you play.
So you're doing like hot fixes, I guess, as it goes.
Yeah, a bit like that. We got things ready as well. Well, ready is like too big of a word. We still have to fix things, but yeah, we got some plans for what we're going to do with the during the weeks.
Yeah.
Oh man!
God, you're all on me.
Did you notice that when you die as a flock, I was just going to say it before my Skype went down. When you die as a flock, you can still move and look around.
Yeah.
And we actually want to. For us, immersion also means keeping the player in the world of the game, right? So, instead of that respawn screen you just saw, we want to make that more fluently. Like, okay, when you die, you're still able to move, you're still able to walk and look around. When you respawn, we actually want to have the flock running into the level, like an extra area in the level where you can just spawn into. Like, it feels like a bigger world, bigger than just the level it is, and then just smoothly entering with you in the end again.
Yeah.
So we don't have like. And we're testing that at the moment, and it just feels really nice. It's like as if a racing game makes you start a game where your car's already driving.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the top again. How did you do that? Yeah.
No, I stopped moving.
I actually don't have the sound of the game on, so I'm not hearing anything at all. But how's that? Because your my voice, your own voice, and also the game sounds.
It's working well. I really like the that sort of weird noise the light makes as it kind of comes in and out of kind of pointing towards you. Works really well because it's got a sort of a sense of threat to it.
Yeah. Actually, that made different sounds depending on the distance you are from the light.
Yeah.
So if you're really far from the light and you see it in distance, you might hear like a twinkle sound, like, oh, that's a treasure. When you get close to it, definitely when you're in range, it should sound like, stay away from this.
Yeah.
This will kill you.
I didn't realise the sort of the possession count on the light carried over. Like, so I picked the light up and it's where I left it.
Yeah.
I thought something like that. Whoever that was coughing, I thought was in the game. Sort of looked up, expecting to see something. Oh, come on!
You're doing well now, aren't you? Yeah, that sound like
Did I?
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's handy because I was going to say let's wrap that up now. So it's good to end on a win. So the alpha's out. Oh, sorry, the alpha's happening this Friday. It's like a closed alpha at the weekend. Have you got any sort of URLs or any sort of website addresses or anything you want to shout out quickly?
No, you can find us on Facebook, the Flock game.
Yeah.
We post everything. We post this interview. We post about the alpha. You find register links on our website, vogelsap.com. You can just register and try to join the alpha. Our first weekend is already out, but you might be able to join the second, third, or maybe even the later ones. I don't know. And yeah, hopefully see you there.
Cool, lovely. All right, thanks for your time. Thanks for letting me play. It's a really interesting and unpleasant experience in places, like in a good way.
All right. Cool.
Cheers.
Nice.
Thanks a lot.
For your time.
Take care.
All right.